Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be discussing about a complaint that China has lodged against India in the World Trade Organization. So what is this World Trade Organization? Basically, the agenda or the objective of the World Trade Organization is free and fair trade among the countries around the world. Now, to ensure that the trade is fair, there are certain rules, guidelines, regulations, certain measures which are present in the WTO. So the countries who are the members of WTO are required to follow those rules and regulations. But many a times it is quite possible, either knowingly or unknowingly, some of the rules can be broken. Now once that happens, the aggrieved country that is there can raise voice against the breaking of that rule. So over here, China is the one who is putting allegations on India in the WTO. So let us now understand in this lecture as to what these allegations are. They relate to what exactly and what are the actual provisions of WTO. So has India actually gone against the rules or not? What has India responded to China or China's claim? All this and much more is what we will see in this video. So let's get started for first understanding that what the news is all about. So the news, as I mentioned, is about China lodging a complaint in the World Trade Organization against India. So now what is this allegation all about? This allegation is with respect to one specific scheme of the government of India, that is the production linked incentive scheme. Yes. So the government of India has production linked incentive scheme, which is actually an umbrella scheme. Umbrella means this is having a broad horizon or ambit. Under this production linked incentive subsidies, there are various sectors, various production, various products and goods that are covered under this scheme. So China is not raising voice with respect to the entire umbrella scheme PLI, but with respect to three subsections or three subsectors under the PLI. So what is this? The first one is the advanced chemistry cell batteries, the ACC batteries. The second is auto and auto components. That means auto here means the automobile, so the automobile industry as well as the automobile component industry. And the third is the electric vehicles. So with respect to these three domains, China has launched a complaint. If you want to know about PLI is an umbrella scheme which is there for various other sectors and other production as well. For example, PLI is also there for renewable energy. PLI is also there for electric vehicle. So with respect to renewable energy PLI that is there by government of India, China has no objection. It has specifically raised issues with respect to these three sectors under the PLI. So make sure that you remember specifically for the prelims exam. Now China is saying that the scheme for this sector is violating the WTO's subsidiary rules. So we'll understand what are these rules and is India actually breaking them or not. Before we move ahead, an important announcement with respect to the new batches that are going to be starting in the month of November. So you will be trained here by the experts of the UPSC Civil Services examination. Now we have a batch size which is limited to just 40 students in order to ensure individual attention on the students. Now, when you enroll with Legacy IAS Academy for your UPSC preparation, there are certain advantages that you will get. Now, these advantages are, some of them are mentioned over here, like the comprehensive coverage of the GS papers. There will be one-on-one mentorship and doubt solving along with regular interaction with the educators that you just saw. Along with that, we will have daily mains answer writing practice to make sure your answer writing skills is up to the UPSC level. Of course, there will be test series for prelims as well as mains, and we follow a 360-degree approach of current affairs, in which the entire week's current affairs are covered through the live classes. Right, along with, of course, the reading material, the magazine, the daily news, the PIB summary, everything will be there. But whatever the current affairs of the week will be covered in the live classes. So if you want to enroll with us, you can simply download the app by scanning this code, or log on to our website, or call on the numbers that are given here. So now let's continue with our news. So let us understand the PLI scheme. As I said, it is an umbrella scheme. It was launched in 2020. Why? For boosting the production. It's production linked incentive subsidy. That means the higher the production, the more incentive or subsidy you will get. So it will basically boost the production. The more you produce, the more subsidy you will get, because it is linked to the production. So that is why it is going to boost the domestic manufacturing. That was the objective of this scheme. Now it is kind of a subsidy. Of course, it is a direct subsidy. So what they do is, payment is given to the person or the industry which is producing. Of course, the amount varies from sector to sector. As I said, it is there in various sectors. So the allocation of fund is specific to specific sector. It is, of course, not uniform. Now, it is based on the disadvantage or disability faced by a sector. Now, this is very important. Using this point only, we are going to counter China's claim. Now, China is claiming that we are giving subsidy which is distorting the market. This is to ensure more and more exports are there, but we are not doing it for that. We are doing because there are certain sectors in the Indian economy which are at a disadvantage, which are having a disability. For example, they are not getting funds, they are not getting credits, because they might not be quite profit making sectors, as a result of which the government is giving these disadvantaged sectors the benefit. Now let us look at China's allegation. China says that India's PLI scheme have domestic value addition requirement. What is this domestic value addition requirement? It says that 50% DVA in auto and 25% DVA in ACC battery PLI. That means the government is saying that if you want to get benefit under the production link incentive subsidy, 50% of the value should be added domestically. So domestic value addition, because of which you will be using domestic product. So China is claiming that through this scheme, the government of India is promoting domestic product usage. Now, why is that a problem? That is a problem because there are certain rules and regulations of WTO. One rule is the national treatment. Let us look at this rule. You have the rule of the national treatment. Now, according to national treatment rule of WTO, this national treatment rule says that, see, let's say this is India's southern part, southern boundary of India. Let's say India imports a particular good. Now, you may impose custom duty, this, that, all those things, fine. But once the good enters the boundary of India, it should get national treatment. Means what? It should get exactly the same treatment as you gave to your domestic good. So by saying that you will be getting incentive only when you use domestic product, the government, China, is saying is facilitating the use of domestic product and it is hampering the use of the imported product. So hence it will hamper China's exports to India. This is the relation between the allegation and the concept of national treatment. Whereas what does India say? India says that the domestic value addition is not equal to local content requirement. We are saying that when we are saying that we want you to add value, the value addition does not mean the content should be local, as in the equipment should be local. Why? Because value can be added through design, value can be added through technology, value can be added through R&D. Now, this design we have not imported from you, technology not imported from you, R&D we are not importing from you. So this is also value addition, right? So this makes sense, but maybe only to the ability that whenever you are talking about the services or design tech, etc. The moment you talk about component specifically, then it may hamper the WTO rule. But the thing is, when this is not exactly equal to local content requirement, agreed, but some people can also show inclusion of domestic product by including some local equipment. So some part of breakage of the rule concept may be present over here. I hope that is clear. So now what is going to happen is this complaint has been filed. So the complaint gets filed in the dispute resolution system of the WTO, in which the process is first consultation takes place. Both sides will try to resolve it amicably. If not, then it goes to the panel stage. Dispute will be heard by 3-member WTO panel. Then the decision will be given. If one of the parties aggrieved, they are not okay with the decision, they can appeal against the decision as such, but then what the decision is taken will be then final. So this is how the process will follow. Now what is the significance of this allegation? The significance is that right now we are having India-China trade tensions which are high. Now the same trade tensions we have seen of India with respect to USA, now China is also involved, so it becomes important for India. It is a time which is going to test India's diplomacy with respect to trade. So the way forward should be to balance the things. When the allegation is made, instead of letting it go to the, let's say, the members, the judges, or to the appeal, there can be a possibility of resolving it amicably. Now India has historically followed the rules and the judgment that has been given by international bodies, so that is not a problem with India. In fact, China is the one who does not follow the judgment of universal bodies. So India has always followed, but we can probably take an amicable way forward by resolving it mutually in order to ensure that the integration of trade between India and China goes on. Thank you.